everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Most welcome, everyone. So this is week 13, and this will be the last lecture for this course. Today's lecture is about more commands related to the MongoDB, using the limits and the sorting and some of the aggregation commands from the aggregation framework. So before I start, let me just share with you the screen, and let's go to the announcement that we have. And while I open that, let me ask you a question. Now, did you start any final exam this week? Do you have any exam this week, or all of it will be next week? Do you have any exam this week, or still everything on next week for the other courses? You started already, or you have something next week, or all of it next week? Next week, everything next week? Okay, that's good. Okay, so now the screen is shared and the sound is good, right? So now let's go to the page. Okay, so if you go to the, if you open the course shell, this is your group, which number 9. So this is 9. So let's see the announcement first. Okay, so what we have. The announcement, the first one, you have the announcement about the final exam. Just anyone can confirm that if the screen shared, please. Screen shared, right? Screen shared. Excellent, thank you. So now if you are with me, just you take a look. First announcement you have for the final exam. So your final, like every week, you have your class on Tuesday, like this day, right? Tuesday at 8:30. So today is 7, as you can see here. So next week, Tuesday will be 14. So for your group will be at, December 14, this one, at 8:30 p.m. So this is a final exam. And because it's a final exam, now for the students who are listening to me here, that's good. For any student not attending, maybe listening to the lecture, to the recording later. So this is final exam. Final exam means you need to do it within the given time. If anyone miss that exam, then I cannot help with anything. So then you need to contact the college to see what you can do. But from my side, that this course policy that the final, you need to do it within the given time. So what you need to do, we need the exam will be at 8:30, just like today, but next week, Tuesday, and during your regular scheduled lecture session. The exam will be available only for the lecture time. The exam will include 50 questions for 100 minutes. So you have 50 questions, multiple choice, true and false. Just you need to read the question carefully and answer. Per each question, you can spend 2 minutes, that's the standard, so which is good. Because you don't need to write code, you don't need to do anything, just you need to read the question, understand, and then choose. True and false, multiple choices. To start the exam, you need to go to assessment, quizzes, you will find the final test. Now, again, this is a final test, so please do your best to submit within the given time to avoid getting 0 if you didn't do that. And based on the lecture outline, the final test covers all the given materials from the beginning of the course till the end of the last lecture. So basically, the materials that you need to read everything from the beginning till the end of today's lecture. Okay. Now, the level of the questions will be same as how you did that, basically, just like what you did in the quiz, the same idea. Okay. Now, what else we need to do? That's number 1 for the final. So any question for the final before I move to the next announcement? Okay, any question about the final? Yes. Will it need lockdown for the final? Now, here we do not have lock down the browser. No, so just it will be like, did you use lock down the browser with the other courses here? With any course? Like nobody told me that here we have lock down the browser. Other colleges we have, like other colleges we use lock down the browser respondents monitor. But here I don't hear in Centino they're using. So I don't know if you use that in what other course, I don't know. Nobody told me anything about that. This time they are using, as I know. So till now I know that we don't have any lockdown the browser response monitor. Okay, what else? Let's see. So no comment. Is it clear for the final piece? The final everything is clear. Okay, so let's go to the second announcement. The second announcement about the quizzes. So as you know, for this course you have 10 quizzes. So now you have a quiz 10. You can start it when I open it. So quiz 10 will be available from December 8th, which is tomorrow. So I give you a time from tomorrow at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. So 12 p.m. till next day, you have till 12 p.m. So you have, please do your best to send it on time. Like if you miss it, then that's it. What should I do now? Because we don't have time to repeat. Now for me, I just wanted to help some of the students. I cannot add more than that, so I just added one extra quiz. So first of all, you have the quiz 10, this one will open tomorrow. That's number one. Do your best to finish it. You have it from tomorrow till next day till the afternoon. So just you have again 10 questions, multiple choice, true and false. So you should do it. You try. Don't leave it and get a 0. That's one. The second thing you have extra. I added extra quiz. So I said here extra quiz added for any missing quiz you have, or if you want to raise one of your quizzes. So if for some reason you missed any of the quizzes before, so this is from my side. I told you that I need to help some of you, so that's good. Now for the student who already also gets a lower mark, they can try it if you want, but you need to do one thing. This quiz, when it will be started, this quiz will be available from December 8th, which is tomorrow, from 8 a.m. till December 10, 8 a.m. So I open it for you for 2 days. So you have it from tomorrow till after tomorrow. So 8 and 9 until 10 December at 8 a.m. The quiz again, yes, it's available for this time, but you need to use it only for 20 minutes again. So you have again 10 questions and you have 20 minutes. Once you started, that's it. So you can choose any time from when you started, then you cannot do anything. So as I said, you have 10 questions and 20 minutes. And the coverage for this quiz, it will be for chapter from the functions till the dependencies inclusive. So you need to read from the check what we did from the functions till the dependencies. So chapter 6, I think this is chapter. Let's see, what is this one? Chapter what? The dependencies. If anyone remember, I need to fix this one. Chapter. Yeah, the chapter that we finished the dependencies. I think it is 9 maybe, or 8. I'll check it just a second. Dependency. Yes. So chapter 8. So chapter 8. Chapter 8. Okay, so this one for the extra quiz. Now, if you start the extra quiz, you will get one of the questions that you need to get, which is unmarked question. It will ask you, where is it? There's one question that this quiz will ask you that to which quiz you want to use this grade. Like when you do this quiz, you'll get a mark. Where you need to use it, to which quiz. So because now you have many quizzes, right? So till now you have 9. So how I know that to which one you want to use this one, or toward which quiz you want to use one? So you need to write for me like a quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, whatever. Okay, that's this one. So I hope this one also clear for you. Clear, please? Till now, this is clear for the extra quiz for all of you? Excellent. Okay, so that's also done. No question? Okay. Now, the other thing that I'll ask you before I forget, sorry, if any one of you has issue with the mark, like anything relating to the marking, like whether it is for a quiz or for the assignment, if you send me before something and I still didn't respond to you for, like sometimes we have many emails from the student, that's why. So it's easily, sometimes maybe we miss, we forget, so that's normal. If I didn't respond, so I apologize again, send me again, please. So you have this week, we can fix anything missing before you go to your final exam, okay? So send me a short email, please, like give me the course and which section you are and where's your problem. Like if you ask me something and I didn't fix it, I will check it for you again, okay? So now, okay, now we can start with what we have today. Now, if you go to, where is it? If you go to the content, if you go to the week 13, week 13, this one. So under week 13, you will see this file with this one, the MongoDB, this one, I just updated. So if you downloaded before, then you need to download it again now. So first of all, I want you to download this file now because it has some code that we need to execute it and explain it. So step number 1, I want you to download this one and open it now. Just keep it open. So when you work, we can take the code from there. Okay. When we'll receive assignment 4 grades? Okay, that's very good question. Assignment 4. Okay, when was the due date for assignment 4, Amik? When was the due date? Do you remember? Because I was waiting for the due date last. Remember the due date? It should be. You should receive it before your exam. You don't know? No problem. So you should, Amik, that's a good question. You should receive it before your exam. That's, I can say like that. 4th December? Okay. Then you should receive it, yeah. Hopefully you will receive it, your exam on Tuesday. So you should receive it before Tuesday, so you will get some feedback. So just remind me, Amik, you have only assignment 4, still you didn't get the grade, right? Only assignment 4. Everything is good from the other one. Okay. Just assignment 4, no problem. So I will do my best to finish it before your final. And okay, so what else? Then let's go to the where now. Okay. So the first thing we need to do now is what? We need to start the MongoDB. So if you remember what we said last time, where is it? So you can start the MongoDB, please. Start the MongoDB. You have the commands, should have everything. So what we said that if we want to start the MongoDB, first we need to go. The screen is not shared, I think. No, screen shared. No, screen shared. Okay, so first of all, what you need to do, you need to run the CMD. And then when you get the CMD, you need to run as administrator. And then what you need to do, you need to run this command. So you have all the command with you, right? So just you need to run this command, the first one, to start the MongoDB server. And if it is not started, so maybe there is something for the connection. For me, it's connection, just not this one. Okay, so now this one should work now. Okay, now the second thing we have is what? Okay, the other commands. What is it? The starting the shell, this one. So you can start the shell. So go again to CMD. cmd, and also run as administrator, and then yes, and then give the command for the shell, and we are good. Now what you need to do, you need to start the robo. So we go to the robo. So we get the robo. This is a robo. And then everything is good now. Right. So after you start the robo, this one close. And then what we need to do, if you remember, so what we have here the connections that we want to work with. So I will choose the Sentinel database, this one, and I click on connect. And then I should see all the databases that I have on my server. And then what we need to do is we need to create, so if you are with me, we need to create a new database where we keep all our files with. So the database, we call it this, we call it, I will give it a name now. Let me start. Okay, so now if you have the file in front of you for this week, this one, so let's start. Okay, so the first thing, as I explained for today, we just have some command that we need to cover that related to the MongoDB. So the first thing, I want you to create the database. You can call it send database week 13. In my case, we already have this name, so I will just call it maybe version 2, version 3. So number 1, we need to create this database. It's good if you use the same name, so when we write the query, we will have the same thing. So first you go to the robo. Just anyone can confirm while I'm moving between the screen, everything's shared. Just you are with me, please. I'm moving from one window to another window. Everything's shared. No. No. That's what I'm asking. Okay, so now this is the now it's shared, right? Now it's shared. Yes. The slide, yeah, this one. Okay, so now you downloaded already the PowerPoint, right? You already downloaded the presentation, this one. All of you downloaded this one, please, from week 13. Downloaded the file, this one, from week 13. Yes, no. Any yes, any no. Yes, excellent. Thank you. Chat one. Okay, so first what you need to do, now we need to go to the robo. Now the window is shared for the robo, right? You can see the window for the robo. Sorry, I keep asking, but just to be sure that everything's set correctly. You can see the window. Excellent. Okay, so now what you need to do, you come to the connection. This one, you do right mouse click, create database, and you give the name, which is this one. So you call from your side, send database week 13. That is your database. In my case, I will call this one as version, I have version 2, I call this one version 3. So that's number 1. What I have, I get a database, which is this one empty without anything, right? The second thing is what you need to do. We need to create 2 collections. The first one called inventory 1, and the other one called inventory 2. We will use them within our practice. So if you look to the if you look to the 2 collections, let's see how they are different. So the first one, what we have in the first one, we have, this is the item and the value. So basically this is the field and a value, a field and a value. And then you have the status, which is again status and the value, status and the value, status and the value. And we have the size, which is embedded document. Why it is embedded document? Because we can see it has these 2 braces. So this is embedded document inside this document. And also we have the in stock, which is include an array, as you can see this one. So this has include an array, and the array for these 2 things, which is the warehouse and the quantity. From the second collection, the inventory 2, what we have? We have this is a field and a value, field and a value, and the tags is an array, Why it is an array? Because these different square brackets, and this is another array. Okay. So what you need to do, we need to copy the first one, Control A, Control C, and we go to the robo, we come this one, go to the collection, we do right mouse click, create collect. Oh, we don't need to create collection, sorry, because we have inserted. So we go to this one, go to the database, sorry, right mouse click, open shell, and then what you need to do, you need to put the command, because this has the insert already, so no need to do right mouse click. Okay, so now after you put the inventory one, select everything and execute. So you get the first collection. If you want to see what you get, double click on inventory one, go to the data, you'll see this is what you get. That's step number one. Now this inventory one, if you want to see what you have here, you'll see this symbol referring to the embedded document. So we have one document embedded in the other document, and this is, if you see the symbol, this is an array. So as we explained before, if you want to see the content of each one of these embedded, just you go to this symbol, which is a tree, and then you can go to Control A, you do right mouse click, expand, it will show you everything there. So that's the first one, which is the inventory one. We need to do the same thing. So I'll take this one, delete, and I'll go to the my code, this one, I'll take again the inventory 2, Control A, Control C, and then you go back to the robo, and then I come here and I just do paste, and then Control A, execute, and then now we get the second inventory. So we need to just sure that we have everything here. That's number one. So all of you with me till here before I move? Now all of you finish this one, the two inventory, 1 and 2. Excellent. So Chetwan and Amik here. Who else here? Okay. So now we finished the Ami is here. Okay, excellent. So now we finish these two, and now we need to go and see what you have in the commands. Okay, let's see what you have in the command. So we did this one, and then let's see what we need to learn. So what we have here, we have how we can query the embedded documents. If you remember in the last lecture, we said that the command that we need to use to query the collection is called find. And structure the query language, we have the select, if you remember. So select statement, here we have the find. Now the find has a syntax. So if you take a look, for example, what you need to do is you put db dot name of the collection, db inventory one dot find, and you put here the condition that you need to ensure that you have within the document that you want to retrieve. So for example, in this case, we are asking about the size. And then what we need to have the h 14, the width 21, and then we need the centimeter. So I'll just write it in front of you, the value. So I will, when I explain it, so I have 14 and I have what, 21. Okay, 1 centimeter. So I have 3 values. So now what I will do, if I go to this command, this is a slide. Okay, so if I go to this one, so I can take this command one by one, this one and this one. I'll copy and I'll go where? I'll go there to the robot to execute. So if you are with me, so let me show you what you need to do. What we are asking about, which one? About inventory one. Okay, so let's first open the inventory one to see what we have. So see what I will do now. I'll double click on the inventory one, double click to see what we have. So as I explained, I will do Control A and I do expand, and let's see. So the question was, we need to find the first one. We need to find all the documents. We need to find all the documents where we have the height 14 and the width 21, right? So if we go here, you'll see what we have. So this is the size, and then we have here the height 14 and then the width 25, and it's a centimeter. And then if we check the other, this is not the same. And if we have something else the same, so this is 8.5 this is 8.5, this is 22, this is 10. So okay, so now if we go here and try to run this command, so just highlight and then run the command, we'll see that we get one row. If you want to see what is it, we see this one, the one that satisfies the condition. So if you want to take a look to the code for this one, you will see that what we get the height is what is it? The height is 14, this one. So height is 14, width is 21, and then it is a centimeter. Okay, so here this one, this is how we can, if we want to check that we have the complete embedded document. So this is a complete embedded document. We get all the values as what we have here. In the second example, if you try now the second example, the second example is what we are asking. Also, we need to find this the size, and we need to find if the width 21 and the height 14. So basically the same thing, but we just switch the order. So then if we run this command, we will see that we'll get nothing. So why we'll get nothing in this case? We'll get nothing here because when you are working with when you're looking for the document, then it should give you in the same order. So if you go to the here to the example, it says the equality matches on the whole embedded document require an exact match of the specified value document, including the field order. So for example, the following will give you nothing because you are not giving exactly the same order of the embedded document. So I hope that this point is clear. Now, last lecture we explained about retrieving the documents based on the condition on the field and the main field, and then we use them we use different operators, like we use the AND or we said that we also use the comparison, greater than, less than. This one, the example about the embedded, which means like how we can retrieve a document embedded inside the main document. Okay, that's the first example. So please, if you have any issue, let me know, because if no one asks, I'll assume that everything is good and I'll move. So I hope that everything is good to know. Now, the second point that we need to explain also is how we can query an array within our within the document that you have it within the array. So if we take a look now to this one, if we take a look now to this example, so what we have to query if the array field contains at least one element with the specified value, then again we put the filter as we put the field name and the value. Where in this value, you cannot see the PowerPoint. Thank you, Marianne. Screen share. Okay, now this one. Okay, so now to query an array, what you said, so to query if the array field contains at least one element with the specified value, then we need to use the filter, which is, again, we need to give the field and the value. So how we can query if we have an array within the document. So if you take a look now to this example for the inventory 2. So in the inventory 2, we have array. And what is the name of the array? The array called tags. So I want to say that, okay, give me all the documents when there is a value read within the array of the tags, for example. So if I take this command and run it, let me show you. So let me show you the screen. And this is a slide 4. We have it here already. This one. So see what I will do now. I'll take this command. That's one. And then I'll take the other command together. So I'll make copy. And I'll go to the robo and I'll delete this and just Control B. And as I explained before, to run one by one, just highlight and see. So now the question is, which collections we are working on now? We are working on the inventory 2. So just to see that everything is okay, share it, yes. Okay, so now with the inventory too. So before I write my query, I can just open the inventory to check it. So this is my inventory tool, and this is the data that I have, and I want to see what I have inside this array. So again, I can go here and I can do Control A, right mouse click, expand to open everything. Okay. So within each document we have embedded, like you can see within this document I have, this is an array, embedded array, and this is another array. Now what's the question? We are saying that, okay, give me all the documents that include red in the tags. Red in the tags. So if you go to the data, you will see here, this is tag. Do we have red? This one? Yes, we have red as elements, so we get this record. So this record, we get it. We go here. We have in the tag, we have red. Yes, we have red, then we get this record, and so on. So this is 2, and let's see what we have here. This is a 3, okay, and this one, this is 4, and then there are 4. So now if you run this one, if you take this one and execute it, so we should get 4. If you want to see what we get, we go here, you'll see we get the 4 that include what? Include red in the array. So what we learned from this command, we learned that if the array includes some values or some elements, and you ask using this equality qualifier, like you put the field and you put the value, with the array it doesn't matter. Like here we didn't specify, like it can be any location. So we're saying that is this array include red? So if the array include red, then give me the document. That's the meaning of that. So give me the record if the tags include red. Okay. This one clear? Okay, so if this one is clear, then let's take a look to the other one. See the other one, this one. So the other one is what? We need to retrieve okay, how can I know the format of my data on Oracle? That's a good question, Safida. There is a command, if you remember, we get it I think in lecture 6. I can answer it, no problem. I can show you that. Just if you Safida, I put your name. So I can show you that. Just once I finish this one, I will show you, no problem. I can show you that, no problem. I have it here in front of me, so I can answer you. Okay. So now the second example that we have, if you take a look now to this one. So what is this command will give? This command, we have an array called dimension, this one. This is the dimension centimeter. So what we are saying in the equality here, we are saying that, okay, we need to take all the documents from this collection. If we have any value within this dimension array is greater than 25. So how we read this one? The dimension, what is dimension? This one, if you go to the data, if you go to the data, you will see that the dimension includes many values. Where's the dimension? This one. So the first element in the dimension is 14, the second element is 21, the first element is 14, the second one is 21. So what we are saying, if any one of the elements in this array include a value which is more than this, less than this, equal this, so you can do anything. So this is how we can do it. So basically, if you run this command, if you take this command and execute it, it should show you, let's see what we get here. So you get only 1. So why we get only 1? We get only 1 because, let's see why we get only 1. So if you go here, I can click expand. Expand. Okay, so let's see what we have. So the question is, we need a value which is more than 25. So within this array, we have many values, and one of the value is 30, which is more than 25. So therefore, we get this document. Why the other one we get nothing? Because all the values, if you check the dimension array there, you'll see that all the values is not more than 25. So these two examples, this one and the previous one, show you example how you can retrieve either from the embedded document or from the embedded array. That's one. Okay, so if we go again to our slides, this is one. Now the second thing is what we have. What happens if we want to find a null value? Like you're saying, if include a null value. So let's see what we have. In order to query a null value or a missing field, so we have two things. Either we are looking for the document that include null value in one of the field. So how we can do that, null value in a field, or if we are looking for a field that's not exists, or the field is not there in this document. Because if you remember what you mentioned in the previous lecture, we said that with the MongoDB as example of the NoSQL, the documents not necessary to be the same structure. So what is the meaning of that? Meaning, like, I can have one document include 1, 2, 3 fields, and the other document include 1, 2, and another document include only 1. So it's not necessary that all the records will be exactly the same like what we have in the relational database. So how we can check if an item include a null value or the field is not there, we can choose these two commands. So let's show you this one. So if I go, this is slide 5. So if I go now to slide 5, here with me. So how we can do that, let's take a look. So in order to query a null value or a missing field, you have you can put item and null, and then the query matches the document that either contain the item field whose value is null, or that do not contain the item field. So if we try this one, let me show you. If we try this command or the other command, let's see what we will get. Let's go to the robo, and then let's see what we have. Close this one, no need. Go to this one, and then let's see what we have. So which table we are using, the inventory 2, or which collection. So I can open the collection, this one, to see what I have. And then the first one, what we are saying, okay, give me from the inventory 1 all the documents when the item is null. Now the question is, this is the inventory 2, and this is the data that we have, and then this is the item, there's a value, this is the item, there's a value, and then all the item has a value. So I don't have any item without a value. So in this case, what I will get if I run this one, I should see a 0. Why? Because this condition is not satisfied with any of the documents. So nothing satisfies this condition, so we get 0, right? So now what happened if I try this another condition? So what I'm saying here. Okay, I want to retrieve from the inventory 2 all the documents, okay, all the documents where item 2 is null. Item 2 is null. First of all, do we have in the inventory 2 something called item 2? So this is my inventory 2. If I go to the data, I don't have item 2. We have ID, we have item, we have quantities, tags, and dimension. So we don't have anything called item 2. So basically we are saying, give me any documents not include the item 2. So in this case, what should we get? If you are with me? Anyone still with me? Anyone here? No one here. So if we run this one, we should get everything. Why we should get everything? Because all the records that we have, or all the document that we have, there's nothing called item 2. There's nothing called item 2. So therefore you get everything. So basically this command telling the program to find all the documents that not include this specific field, or this field is equal null, the same thing. Okay, that's the other command that you can use. Okay. Okay, that's fun. The other way how you can do that. The other way how you can do that is, there is another way how we can do the looking for the null value. So you can say, I want the item. See this one, item null, item 2 null, directly like this, the field and the value. And this one you can write it, this they call it the type check. This one another way, this one the equality filter. This method, these two examples represent example of the equality filter. This example is example of the type check. So it says here that if you put item, this one, and the type 10, the operator type 10, so this query matches only the documents that contains the item field whose value is null. That means the value of the item field is of, this is just like the JSON type null, type numbers 10. So what is the meaning of that? I'm not sure if anyone is still with me or not, but this is another way how you can check for the null value. This is another way how to check for another value. Like if, I don't know if, like for example, if you use another programming language, like if you are working with Java or C#, sometimes if you want to check for a value, you can give, for example, a code. So instead of saying, for example, I'm looking for letter A, you can give the code for letter A. So the same thing here. So this is another way how you can check for the null value. The other example also, there is another one here, or another operator, is that using the exist. So if you choose item, like in this case, item and exist false, means, okay, what I want to find. Find for me any documents, means any record, where the item, if I check the exist, it should be false, means there's no exist for the item, the same thing. So this one, the query matches the document that do not contain the item field. So this is slide 5, so we can run this one if you want. So if you take a look, if we try this one, let's try the last one. So if we go, what is it? Screen share. Okay, so if you are with me, anyone still here? Hello. Hello. Okay, so this example, what we are doing, we are looking for what? We are looking for when the exist false, means there's no item. Now, again, if we go to our table, this one, so what do you think we should get from this one? How many rows we should get from, if we run this one? How many rows or how many documents? What do you think? Anyone here? Somebody here? No one? Okay. So what I will do now, let me show you. Just please, anyone can confirm the sound is clear, the screen shared, everything is good? Screen shared, the sound is good? Okay. Okay, so now what I will do now, I will let me show you this command. So if I run this command, what we will get in this case, we get a 0. So why we get a 0? So maybe you get a question. So like maybe you get select this question maybe in the exam. So telling you, okay, what is the output from this command? The output is how many collections you will get, for example, from this command if you have like this table of data, for example. The answer is, for example, it will give you 2 or 3 or a 0 or what. So in this case, this is a 0. Why it is a 0? Because the question is, we want to display all the documents where the item is not exist. Okay, but here in our case, in all the documents, item is exist. There's item. We don't have anyone without item. Okay, so then what happens if I change this one to true? So what I'm saying now, okay, give me all the documents if the item exists is true, means there is the item is exist. So in this case we should get the opposite, we should get all of them. Okay, so that's the other question. Okay, that's the other one for the null and for the exist. Okay, now the other subject that we have also for today is about working with the aggregating or aggregation of data, just like what we did in the relational database. So if you remember, anyone remember what is the aggregation function? Anyone still remember, or it's really disappeared from the brain? Anyone remember what is aggregation function? Aggregation function, the minimum and maximum. Very good, Jane. Minimum, maximum. What else? Anyone remember? Count. Exactly. Very good, Jane. So we have many functions that we have within the relational database that we call it aggregation function. The aggregation functions, or aggregation functions, take the many values and find the calculations and give out one value only. So for example, let's say I have the employee table. In the employee tables, I have many records and I want to count how many employees. So the count will aggregate all the data and give me the result only one. So I'm saying count for me how many records in the employee table, for example. So it will count all the records and give me only one value, which is the count. The minimum the same. Give me the minimum value, it will be one value. Give me the maximum, it will be one value. So minimum, maximum, count, average, all these type of functions are example of the aggregation function. Now, I'm not sure if you still remember or you forget, but with the aggregation function that we used before with the SQL, if we have, for example, if I want to write a selected statement to give me, for example, number of students in a department. So basically, I want to write select department, comma, count employee number from, for example, department, or from department and employees where. So I write a complete select statement. The problem that we mentioned before, that when you work with the aggregation function, you need to consider using the group by. I don't know if you still remember that or not. There's something called group by. So for example, let's say I want to find how many employees per each department. Average of salary per this department. So in this case, if I want to have, or I want to use the aggregation function for subset of records, like I will take the employee then within the HR department and I get how many employees. The employee, for example, within the IT, how many employees? The average of the salary, for example. So I want to get count and count and count, but per each department. So in this case, we need to use a group by. That's what we did within the structured query language. Here within the MongoDB, let's see what we have. So in the MongoDB, also, if we have a big amount of data, we have it in a file in JSON format, and then we want to find we need to do the aggregation. So how we can do that? So the aggregation operation, again, the aggregation operations represent the process the data record and return computed result. So basically, as explained before, like how we want to use the the count or the average or the minimum. So basically, it's access the record and give you or calculate something. Now, the second thing is what? I just want to see the screen. Yeah. So the aggregation operations group the value from multiple documents together and can perform a variety of operations on the grouped data to return a single result. Now, the MongoDB provides 3 different ways to do the aggregation. So again, now we understand what is the aggregation. Aggregation means like we have many documents, okay, and we want to group them based on something, and we calculate something. So from the data, we need to do the grouping and do some calculations. So in MongoDB, we have three things to do that. Number one, we have something called aggregation pipeline, and we have the MapReduce function, and we have single purpose aggregation methods. Three different things. So these are three different things. We can use them to do the aggregation. Each one of them has a different way to do that, and which one is better than the other, we will see that. So let's start with the first one. So what we have, we need to work now with another collection. So we call it orders one. So what I need to have here, I need to create a new collection. I call it orders one. And then we have here some document. We just need to put it inside. So if you are with me, see what I will do now. I will have here orders one. So what I will do, I return back to my database here. And then I come to my database and do right mouse to the collection. Sorry, I go to the collections. I do right mouse click, create collection, and then I will call it this one orders one. That's number one. Second, here I will not write the command because we have different ways how to do that. So either you write the command here with the insert, or you create yourself the collection and you just add the. You create the collection and just you add the documents. So for this example, we have documents. So this is the first record, this is the second record, this is the document, this is a document. Okay. So what I will do, I'll take this one, Control A, Control C, just copy. And then I go to my database here again. And then what I will do to the orders one, I'll do right mouse click, and then I choose insert document. Right mouse click, insert document, and then I get this one, just deleted, Control A, delete. So I'll do Control D. So what we have the ID, the customer ID, the order date, and this one we have here the status, and we have the amount. So what is this one? Is O date, or this one is O date. This one to consider the value that we have as a date in this case, just like formatting the date. So now once we finish, we can do validate. If everything entered correctly, then it will give you a message that the JSON is valid, and then OK, and then save. So now if you want to see what you have within the orders one, you can double click on the orders one from here to see which data you have. So this is the data that we have. This is the orders one. So what we have with the orders one, we have the order ID, this one, the primary key. We have the customer ID. Then we have the order date, and we have the status, and we have the amount. Then what you need to do now. Let's see what you need to do. So if you are here, the next thing what you need to do, we need to start to use the three different aggregation operations that we have it within the MongoDB. So the first one is the aggregation pipeline. So what is the aggregation pipeline? So we have here in the MongoDB, we have something called the aggregation framework, which means like it's, when you say framework, means like it has many different processes or operators that we can use. So within the MongoDB, the aggregation framework, it's modeled for of the concept of data processing pipelines. What is the meaning of that? It means like the documents entered a multi-stage pipeline that transform the document into aggregated results. The commands to do the aggregation, of course, that now if you notice, it's little because the syntax is new. The syntax for many of you it's new maybe, so a lot of brackets and braces, as you can see. So this example, if I take this example, let me show you what I have here. So I will run this command and explain to you. So if I go to the robo, so if I go here, so this is my data. Okay, I'll go there and see what I will do now. See what we have. Okay, so this is our orders one. This is the orders one. So what I'm saying now, I want to work on orders one, and I want to use from the aggregate framework. I need to do something. So now I need to follow the syntax of writing this. That's the problem. So how to write the syntax? Let's see what we have. Within the the aggregate framework, we have a match and group operators. So if we use match, this is just like you're saying in the select statement where. For example, in the SQL, what you write, select employee name from employees where employee name like a whatever, for example. Or you will say like, okay, select the employee name from employees where, for example, for example, employee ID is more than whatever. So you put a condition in the where within the SQL. With the MongoDB, what you have match. This operator match. So I'm saying that, okay, we want to retrieve all the documents. What is the condition you have? The condition you have match status A. So like if a status is equal A, it's meaning that if a status equal A, that's the condition. So this is the match. So this one now will give you the group or the query basically. So what's the query? The status A. So where is the status A? So this one. So how many documents I have for status A? So I have the first one, this is A, and this is A, and this is A. So I have 3A. I have number 1, and number 2, and number 5. So 1, and 2, and 5. Right. So the question is what? Okay. We need first to make the condition is for the status equal A. So we understand. And now after that, we need to do grouping. The grouping give me 2 columns. The first column is the ID, and the second column is the total. For the ID, I will need to use the customer ID, but you can see the format. There's a $sign here. So why it's like that? Again, that's how it will work, the syntax for these commands. So what we are saying now, we have a command for the for the ID, we need the customer ID, and for the total, we need to find what? We need to find for the total, we need to find sum of the amount. So what is the meaning of that? What should we get from here? What we should get, first of all, we are checking the condition. Basically, we are selecting or we are querying the this document based on the status. So in this case, I get 1 and 2 and 5. Okay, but if we get these 3, then the output will be what? The output will be based on the customer ID. So what is the customer ID here? We have ABC1, and we have here XYZ, and here we have ABC1. But where's the problem? The problem is we are saying in the command that we need the customer ID, this one, to appear as a primary key, just like the underscore ID. So which means like I don't want to repeat these values. So that's why this is just like represent the group by. So we are grouping by the customer ID, and then for each customer for each customer ID with the similar value, we will get the total of them, which is the sum. So basically, if you run this command, if you take this command and run it, you should get 2 columns, as you can see. The first column for the primary key, which is the ID, and the second column for the total. So how the program calculate this one, 75 and 100, if we go to the ABC one, this one. So this is A, okay, and this is A, okay. And now what we have also, this is another A. So for the ABC one, we have another ABC one, and this is 50 plus 25, 75. What about this one? We have only 100, so we get as it is 100, as you can see. So is this one clear still here, please? Anyone still here? Yes, no. Busy, tired. Busy and tired and exam week. I know. Okay, no question for this one, please. No question for this one. Okay. Now here the people maybe go to sleep. Okay, so now where is the other one? Let's see what we have. So this is the aggregation pipeline. The second one that we have, so this is the explanation what happened within the aggregation pipeline. as I explained, this is the same command. So basically, this is the command I just showed you and I explained to you, and this is more explanation I added here for you. So this will show you like what happened for this command, how this command will work. So it says here, the pipeline that will do the aggregation work with different stages. So the first stage is the match, this one, the match state. So the match state filters the documents by the status field in this case, and passes to the next stage those documents that have the status equal to A. So basically this will give only the status that equal A and passes to the next level. The second level, which is the stage, or the second stage, is the group, this one. So the group stage groups the document by the customer ID field to calculate the sum of the amount of each unique customer ID. Now, the most basic pipeline stage provides filters that operate like the queries and document transformation that modify the form of the output document, as you can see here. So basically, as you saw from this example, two stages. The first one is the match and then doing the grouping. So the first one will give you all the document that's satisfied with this condition or successfully have this condition, and then after that doing the grouping. So the grouping will be based on what you have in the ID and then whatever operators you have here. For example, in this case, we are using the sum operator. Okay. Now we have another example. I will show you now. This is the orders number 2. We have, because each one we have different example. So let me show you what I will do now. I'll do Control A, Control C, and then I'll go to my robo, this one. And then what I will do now, I'll go here and I'll do right mouse click, get collection, call it orders 2, orders 2, and then I go to the orders 2, I do right mouse click, insert document, Control A, delete, Control V. So this possible it has insert. So no, this one, if it has insert, then you don't need to do this one. You can just run it. I thought it's only, so no need. No, this one I thought I have only the document. So this one, since we have the insert command, then we don't need to do it here. I'll cancel it. Sorry, I thought we have only the document. If you have the insert, then we just simply can run it. So I don't need this one. I'll just make it drop. No, I need this. So what I will do now, I just run the insert directly from here. So if you notice, I thought that we have here only these rows. So if you have only the documents, then we need to do it as I just showed you. If you have the complete command within the insert, so now we have here orders.insert many. So it will run to create the collection and add the documents. If I run this one, run. Now what will happen if I go to the collection, I will see that I get the orders 2, double click, and this is the data for orders 2. Okay, so let's see now what we can do with this orders 2. So what's our example about? Our example about the aggregation. The first example that we explained, we use the match and a group from the aggregation framework, and now we need to do another commands that we can use also for the aggregation. Another example. Okay, so let me show you the other commands, which is this one. So now we are on slide 11. We reached the slide 11, and let me show you what we will do now. So the following aggregation pipeline example contains 2 stages and return the total. Okay, so this is again the same thing, but with more fields. Okay, so how this command will work now? Again, we have also this is the same one for the pipeline. Okay, so for the pipeline, again another example. So what we have here, we have the match status equal urgent. Then I want to have the ID to be this field, and then the sum quantity is equal sum for the quantity. So if you look to this command, how this command will work. So I have this data. This is the data that I have. So I'm saying, first of all, I need to do the filter on the status equal urgent. So where's the status? This one. Status new, status urgent, urgent, new, urgent, whatever. So the first thing we are saying that we need to we need to apply the filter that will give us only when the status equal urgent. That's first. After that, whatever set we get where the status equal urgent will be passed to the grouping, this one. The grouping will create two columns, one for the ID and one for whatever you give it a name, any name, sum quantity, this one. So this is one column and this is one column. Now the first column need to be uniquely or it need to be unique for each value that we have. So for example, for the product name, if we take a look now, what's the condition? You have urgent. So how many urgent we have in this case? So we have this one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we have 4. Okay. So for these 4, what you need to have, we need to do the grouping. Now grouping based on what? Based on the product name. So therefore you have the two names that we have here, the iron and the steel beam, this one. And then it will give you the sum for them. So for example, now let's see, this is urgent, and what is the name here? Steel beam. Okay. And this is urgent and also steel beam. So what is this one? This one 20 and 30. So you get the steel beam 50. Now the iron, where's the urgent? This is urgent, and this is for the iron. So this is 50. And this is 10, so the sum is 60. So this is another example to do the same thing. Okay, and then it will show you that we have two operators, which is the match and the group. Same thing. Okay, now the other operations that we can use with the MongoDB is called the map reduce. The map and reduce, it's two processes that we can use, and also to implement the aggregation or the grouping. And we have this map and reduce in other applications, not only in the MongoDB. It is also used in other applications. The idea of the map reduce is again to implement the aggregation, but it's in little different ways, little more complicated than the pipeline. So let's see what you have in the definitions, and then we'll go to the practice. See, so the MongoDB also provide the map and reduce operations to perform the aggregation. So we have another way, means like this is another way how to do the aggregation. Now, in general, the map and reduce operations have two phases. Just like how we have with the pipeline, also two stages. Here we have two phases. The first one is the map stage that process each document and emits one or more objects for each input document, and reduce phase that combines the output of the map operations. So basically with the pipeline, the example that we explained earlier, this one, we said that we have two stages. First we need to do the match, and then we need to do the grouping. Here again we have two phases. The first one called the map, and the second one called the reduce. The result should be the same idea, but the way how it will work will be different, and the syntax will be different. So the map and reduce uses custom JavaScript functions to perform the map and the reduce operations. That's one, as well as the optional finalize operations. Now, when the custom JavaScript, while the custom JavaScript provide great flexibility compared to the aggregation pipeline, in general, MapReduce is less efficient than the MapReduce is less efficient and more complex than the aggregation pipeline. So each one of them, as you can see, each method has its own features. So good or advantage or disadvantage. So for the MapReduce, it is less efficient than the pipeline that we just explained, and it is more complex in the coding, but it has a way to write or to use to provide more more script or because it's using custom, you can add custom JavaScript. So a little complicated. It is little complicated, and you'll see that in the example. So if you go to slide 14, this will show you how the MapReduce will work, and then I'll run for you to show you what will be how it will work and what's the output. If we look at this example, so what we have here, we have db.orders.MapReduce. So this is the operators. db orders MapReduce. And then it has some weird syntax. So we have this the syntax for. So we have function, emit, and then you put this, and you put the first column that you need to use. In this case, we have the customer ID, and then the amount, and then we are passing the function key and the values. And then we are saying here what we need to get from the output. Now the other thing that we have here also, that the query that we need to run initially, so we need the status equal A for the query, and the output will send to another collection. So this code, if I'll show you this code how it will work. So let me show you this code. If we go to the where is it this one. So if you go here, so if you are with me, this will work on orders 1. So first, let me open orders 1 to see what we have. So this is orders 1, and this is the data that we have. So how this will work? So first of all, we have a query. Okay, so the query status equal A, right? So basically give me only A. So we need, okay, so we need which row we need? You need this one, number 1 and number 2 and number 5. Okay, that's number 1. So we did the query first. This part will run first and to get only A, right? Second, after this part finished, it will try to work within the first part. Here is how it will work. So for the record that, or for the document that we get that satisfies this condition, which is status equal A, we need to have what? Let me show it here. So let me run this one, and let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. So if we run it one more time, okay, so let's see what we have here. Now, if you want to see what you get, so this one should refresh the collections. So if I refresh here the collections, you will see that this map and reduce send the output to another collection. So what is the collection name in this case? It's the order total, this one. So we have here the order total. We don't have this one before. We do not have this one before with our collection. So this map and reduce send the output from this code to this orders table. So if you open the order total, this one, you'll see what we get in this case. We get again the grouping for based on the customer ID, right? This one, or is it? Yeah, based on the customer ID, and it will found the sum for what? For the amount. So where is the orders 1 again? So this is the orders 1. This one, orders 1. Yeah. So it will do the grouping based on the customer ID, okay, for the status A, and it will do the sum for the amount. That's the meaning of that. As it's explained in the document, that it is the code for this one's a little complicated, but it has more features where we can add more code. So this one can be, although it is complicated and says less efficient, but it includes parts that we can define or add more JavaScript to this one. So it's more complicated. So for now, then, what you need to learn about this one, MapReduce. Number 1, you need to know that the MapReduce has 2 phases. The first phase, like as you can see, it will be the query. We get the query based on the condition that we have, and after that it will do the grouping using different commands. So the parameter that you pass here to this emit, like for example here you have whatever field you need to use for the primary, first one, and then the second one with other field you need to find to get whatever, what is it? So if I put this one like this, maybe it will be more clear. In the second column, so this one. So this, the return the array.sum, this will give the sum for this value, for the amount, and then the result will be sent to another collection, which is this one. This case. This is the second way of doing the aggregation within the MongoDB, and as you can see, it's a little complicated, this one. This is the same example for the not reduce. Now, the other example that we have here, we have the single purpose aggregation operations. Now, at the beginning, when I asked what is the meaning of aggregation, Jane, she answered. Now, in the SQL, we use the max, the minimum, the count, and all of these are functions that we can use to do the aggregation, means grouping the record and give only one value. And then here within the MongoDB, also we have the single purpose aggregation operations, such as the count, distinct, estimate the count document. So all of these will do what? All of these will take again the given collections and do the process by using these functions. So let me show you what we have here in this example. So if I go here and I put this command and I want to apply it, for example, on orders 1, let's say. So I'll put here orders 1, orders 1. And then the same thing here. I have here orders 1. And I have here orders 1. So what we will get in the first one, let's see what we have. The first one, I'm talking about which table? I'm talking about the orders 1. So if I open orders 1, I have 5 documents. Okay. So let's assume here we have 100 or 500 or 1,000 of records. So if you want to count how many, like there are two different operators that you can use. You have the count. So if you're saying I want to count how many rows within the orders or how many documents within the orders, so you put the collection.count. So if you run this one, it should tell you that you have 5. Now, sometimes when the collections are huge and then you have many documents, there's another just like a functions or method used called estimate. So estimate that we can give the same thing, but it has when, for example, maybe when you have a very large or very big data set, we can use it. So again, estimate the count. So if you run it on any collection, also should find for you the number of documents. The other option that we have is the distinct. I don't know if you still remember we have also the distinct within the SQL language. So the distinct means like if you want to display only one value or not repeated value from the column. So if I can just show you maybe another example of the distinct. This is for the count. Like for example, if I want to say count, just the count, it will give you the total number. If I want to say how many document has this or satisfy this condition. So let's see. So this one, if you just put dot count, as I said, if you just put dot count without condition here, see, if you try this one without a condition, then this should give you everything. Like I'm saying that how many documents I have, so it's give me 5. Now, if you put a condition here, that means like I want to count how many documents satisfy this condition. So what is the condition? I want, for example, amount greater than 50. So I'm saying like how many documents has the amount more than 50. So you put count for the amount more than 50. So if you run this one, you'll see that you have only 2, for example. Anyone still here? Hello. Anyone still here? Nobody here. Anyone here? Tired? I know. Now these weeks, this is the hardest one now. This one or the okay, so now the second one is the distinct. What is the meaning of distinct? So see this example. The following example returns the distinct value for the field status from all the documents in the orders collection. If you take a look now to this table in front of you, so we have what you have in the status. We have A, D, D, A, D, A, like that. So how we can say like, okay, give me one value from each group. Like for, I don't want to see A or D, D. I want one A, one D, one E, one F, so on. So how we can do that? There's something called distinct. This distinct also we have it in the SQL, the same thing. So if you run this command, you will see what we have. So this is our table, which is the orders one, and this is the data that we have. So I want to say I want distinct. Distinct means like only one A, this one no, one D, this one no, and so on. So if you run this one, it should give you sorry, only A and D. So only A and D. Sorry, that's the distinct. Now what else? Okay, we have another method that also use and also have it within the SQL is the limit. For example, if you have a data set that include many documents and you want to retrieve, like you write a condition or a find with a condition, but it gives you 500 rows. You don't need 500 rows, you want only 5, you want only 10, you want only 2. So how you can limit the number of documents? You can use, you can put the command, you can put find and then limits. So if you run this one, for example, in this case, so in the inventory, what you have? In the inventory, you have 5. So what I'm saying here, I'm saying that, okay, I want to retrieve from the inventory, but what is it? Okay, I want to retrieve from the inventory, but I have only 2. So if I want only 2, so which 2 will be returned? The first 2 will be returned. So you'll get this one and this one. So you get, for example, this is the journal and notebook. So if you run this one, you should see what? You should see the journal and was not highlighted. Okay, so this one highlighted. So it should give you the journal and notebook. Got the limit. Another example also you have like this one. So what we have? Okay, we need to find from the inventory everything or all the documents with the status equal D. Okay, so for example, give me, let's say 10 document includes status D, but I want only the first one. So I put limit 1. So limit means like how you want to just reduce the number of the documents that you get based on what you have here. So you get only 1. Okay, and the last thing, if you're done. The sort. If you remember, also we have within the SQL we have the ascending and descending. Something here we can do the same thing for the ascending and descending, and there are different commands how to do that. So let's see the easiest one. So the easiest one is this one and this one. So if I show you this, the easiest one, what I have. If I go, I'm looking for what? Inventory one. Okay, then let's open the inventory one. Double click on inventory, see the data. Okay, so what's the question? We want to display everything from the inventory one. So find all, that's why we have nothing here. So find all from the inventory one, but we need to sort based on the status ascending. Sort based on the status ascending. So if I go here, I can see that I have A, D, B, B, whatever. So how can I sort this one from A to Z? I will say sort, and then 1. So the 1 is the code or flag for ascending. -1 is for the descending. So if you run the first one, you will see you get the data, but in this case you get A, and then D, D, D. Now the question is this one. Again, what I have here. Okay, I want to retrieve, but I want to get only 4, and the 4 I want to sort them descending on the status. So here, this example show you that you can use both the limit and the sort in one statement. So what is -1 means? Descending. So if you run this command, you will get what? You will get, okay, so I'll get 4 because I asked for 4 only, but the sort is descending. Descending means like from D, in this case from Z till A, or from, in this case, D to A. So this is easiest command to do the sort, but there are more commands that little complicated from the aggregate framework. So the aggregate framework has its own just like command or its own operators, which provide you with another way how you can do that. So if I show you these last examples, and so if you're here, let me show you what you have. The first one, this one. So what I have, I want from the inventory one, the aggregate framework, I want to use the sort based on the status ascending. So did you see the command? A little complicated because many brackets here. So I want from the aggregate, I want to use the sort operator for the status and it's ascending. So again, means like I want to sort the result for all the inventory documents based on the status ascending. So the same meaning. So if you run, get the same thing. That's one. What happens if you want descending? The same thing. I want to, from the inventory aggregate, I want to do based on the status descending. So if you run this one, it should give you from D till I descending. Now, is it possible to sort for by more than one field? Yes, it's possible. So what will happen? I'm saying that I want to sort by the status ascendingly and then by the item descending. So what is the meaning of that? I have this data. I want to sort it based on the status, means like A, B, C, D first. But what happens if I have 2 A's? Which one will be first? So if I have 2 documents, the same value, then it will go to the second column, which is item, and then choose descending, which means like if I have A and B, then B will be first. So if you take a look at this one and run it, see that this one will give how it will work. So it will give you A and then A and then A, but which A first? Which A first? This is ascending, but which A first? You go to the item. Which one that has the opposite value, like not, if it is a numeric, then it will give you the biggest value first, and then the lowest. If it is alphabet, it will give you the Z first, and then go down to A. Okay, so as you see now, this lecture was all about the commands that we can use with the MongoDB. Now, because it's the end of the semester, and the end of the day, and the end of the everything, so maybe you'll find this command little hard. It's a lot of commands, but honestly, MongoDB, we have more complicated commands, and this one just sample to show you that how you can retrieve the data, how you can sort, how you can do the group. And the previous lecture was more focused about the query, and also like if you want to insert or update or delete, which is the record operation. Okay, so we are done for this lecture. I don't know, like if you have any question, even if you have a question before the exam, just please send me short email. When I see the email very long, I'll just keep saying, like, if you have a question or specific question, just make your email short, then I can respond to you. So anyone has any question related to the exam, related to the material, related to anything? So again, the exam will be next week on your lecture time, like this day at 8:30. This is final. If anyone missed the exam, I will not gonna be able to help, unfortunately. The exam need to be on time. The exam, no coding, it will be just like similar level of the quizzes, but more, you'll get more for sure, because you have 100 minutes to do that. This is not in a book, but the reference for this. So that's a very good question, Emmy. Emmy asked a very good question. So this one from the manual from the MongoDB. So you have in each page the reference for this one. So all these examples and more, you have them from the website, this one. This website is amazing. This website is really amazing. Why? Because the way how they introduce the materials, very simple, a lot of examples, and this is basically the manual from the MongoDB. So this is the source for. So that's why I added for all the slide you have the same, all the material from this the manual for the MongoDB. Excellent. And Safida still here? Safida asked me a question. I don't know if she will be here or not here. Anyone has a question, please? No question? Okay, no question. Then I'll just need to answer the question for Safida. I don't know if she's here or not here. I have to answer the question. So let me see. I think I remembered in week 6 we talked about that. If I forget. Okay. So I don't know if Safida is here. So you see, let me share the screen. So I don't know, at the beginning of the lecture, Safida asked a question about changing the date. I'm not sure if she is here or not here, but I will answer here. Maybe she will, if she's not here, she will listen to the recording later. So she asked about changing the date or setting the date for in the Oracle database. So in week 6, when we were working with the tables, I give you this command. I said you can write this command. Select a style from the analyst database parameters where parameters equal analyst date format. So this should give you the format for the date that you have in the Oracle database. And if you want to change it, you need to use alter session set analyst date format, and you give whatever pattern you have. So this is the pattern that you can, like you have, for example, in your database. Let's say you have the DD, like the 2 digits for the day, and then 3 letters for the month, and 4 digits for the year. So you can use this format. If you have something else, you can use something else. So I can maybe add this one, copy it here, just if she will listen to the recording later. Okay, so we're done. Okay, so I don't know if you're still here. So I wish you all the best in all the exams. I wish you all success. I know that this course was not that much easy, for sure. The materials are not that easy. This is not an introductory course. It's from the name. It's called Advanced Database, as you notice from the title. So this course assumed that most of the students did some work before. Like many of you maybe did the basic database. Other than that, maybe some of you feel that it's a heavy course, but it's not introductory, as I explained. So I wish you all the best, and let me know if you need any issue, as I explained. If you still has issue with your grade, let me know. You have the quiz 10 will be available tomorrow. You can start tomorrow to do it. You have it till after tomorrow morning. You have extra quiz there for the students who want to just improve their one of the quizzes they have, or they missed one of the quizzes, they want to just do another one. And have a good night and all the best. Take care. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Also, I have here very good student. I really appreciate your participation. And then I wish you all success and all the best. And I hope to see you in other class one day. Take care. Bye, everyone. Good night. Good night, everyone. All the best. Take care.